Okay, so you've been going to the gym for weeks, or maybe you're thinking about going to the gym, but you want to see results as quick as possible. And if you're about to give up because you're not seeing any progress or results, let me tell you something. Don't give up just yet. There are at least 5 things that you could be doing wrong that need to be fixed so you can improve your chances of seeing results in the gym. Now, before we get into the tips, I just wanted to remind you that results don't happen overnight or in a couple of weeks. It takes time to build good things. Actually, when you start working out, changes happen immediately, like when you're sore or if you can tell that your cardiovascular has improved. Those are immediate changes. But visible changes like increased muscle growth and maybe you are like looking more cut or just like have more muscle on you, those changes are going to take a little more time than you might hope for or expect. So if you're discouraged because you're not seeing any visible changes, don't be, because maybe your endurance has improved or your cardiovascular system has gotten better. And if you're getting sore after your workouts, that is a great sign that your muscle is growing, because actually when you work your muscle, there's little microscopic tears that happen and that makes the muscle stronger. So every time you get sore, that's the cause. So it's actually proving to yourself that you are building your muscle. I also wanted to mention that everyone's timeline is different. So maybe your friend and you started working out this at the same time, and maybe they're improving quicker than you are. And maybe that's a little discouraging, but everybody is different. So just taking into account like genetics and different things like that, this really puts it into perspective that just because you're not growing as fast as someone else doesn't mean that you're not growing. Okay, so tip 1, are you staying consistent and do you have a plan? This is really important because if you expect to build muscle, then you're going to have to stay consistent in what you're doing. If you're just sporadically working out, doing random workouts, not really knowing what you're doing, then it's really unlikely that you are going to build muscle because you're not being consistent. So I think the most important step for working out is actually building a plan first, knowing what you want and being consistent and carrying it out. So ideally, going to the gym like 3 to 4 times a week is perfect. Even 2 times a week is great starting out, just to build that consistency. And honestly, progress and results does not happen out of nothing. It comes from showing up consistently over a long period of time. And if you're not really sure where to start, then I do have a video about how to get started in the gym for beginners or teens or anything like that. So I'll leave a link in the description and you can go check that video out if you want. Okay, so tip number 2, are you challenging yourself? So maybe the first couple weeks that you started working out, you were feeling sore and things were really hard. But now things are starting to get easy and you just kind of keep doing what's easy and you keep doing the same routine week after week and you're not seeing any progress. Well, that could be the problem. Just because you're working your muscle the same way, the same weight, doesn't necessarily mean that you are going to keep improving and progressing. Like everything in life, to strengthen something and improve it, we need to challenge ourselves. So if something is easy, it's never really going to get better. One way you can do this is by progressive overload. And this can be really anything. It can be more weight, it can be more reps, it can be a higher number of reps or sets. And maybe you're just doing like machines, so maybe you can start doing cables, or maybe you can start doing dumbbells, or just trying different things every once in a while to honestly just to keep it entertaining so you don't get bored. So that is just super duper important. Make sure that you are challenging yourself every single time that you go into the gym. Don't make it easy, because easy is not what builds results. So point number 3, are you prioritizing recovery? One of the main ways that our body recovers is through sleep. So during deep sleep, your body actually releases testosterone, which repairs those little muscle tears after you've worked your muscle. So if you're not getting sufficient sleep for your age, then this repair process will be stunted and delay your chances of muscle growing quicker than it should. And don't worry if you miss one night of good sleep or you didn't get enough rest that day, because this isn't going to happen just from one time, but it happens from you continually doing it over a long period of time. So teenagers need roughly 8 to 10 hours of sleep for their bodies, and then adults usually need around 7 to 9. So make sure that you are getting enough sleep for your body. This will not only improve your muscle growth, but it will improve so many other things mentally, emotionally, and also physically. And then also part of the recovery is take rest days. You should not be training every single day of the week. Your muscles need a break, and they will thank you, because muscle growth does not happen when you're actually working the muscle. It happens afterwards when you are resting and recovering from your workout. This is true for all of your muscle groups, whether it's abs, arms, or legs. They need a break. So don't train the same exact muscle every day intensely. So remember to get enough sleep, enough rest that your body needs, and prioritize rest and recovery, because resting and recovery is just as important as getting in the gym and doing your workout. Okay, point number 4. Are you eating enough protein, and are you eating balanced meals? I know a lot of people have different views about how much protein you should eat and when you should eat and how much you should eat. But I personally believe in listening to your body. So if you feel that you work out better on an empty stomach, then do that. And don't force yourself to overeat because you think it's going to give you bigger muscles and things like that, because just getting the right amount is going to be perfect for your body. A lot of people say that you should eat between 30 and 60 minutes right after your workout, which is a really great time to get in your protein, but it's also necessary to eat protein throughout the day, not just right after your workout. Teenagers should not be depriving themselves of any type of food that their body needs. So we all need protein because it helps repair the muscles. We all need carbohydrates because it gives us energy and fuel. We all need fruits and vegetables because they give us vitamins and minerals. And healthy fats are super important too, because they just support overall health. So avocados, salmon, and different kinds of nuts can give you healthy fats. And then the last one I think that is super duper important is staying hydrated. Making sure that you get at least 8 full glasses of water each day is perfect, because your body needs to stay hydrated, and that will keep it functioning properly. Okay, so point number 5 is, are you tracking your progress? Sometimes we can get so in our heads and not even think that we're making progress when we actually are doing so much more than we realized. So when you are actually tracking your progress, and you can visually see it on maybe a paper, or if you have pictures or something like that, you will actually be able to see that yes, you are making some progress, and that will encourage you to keep going, because sometimes we don't even notice that we're really making progress because we just see ourselves every day. So we're not really like going back and seeing, oh, this is what I looked like before, and then now this is what I look like after training. So a few ideas for tracking your progress are taking photos. This can be anything. This can be flexing or just anything that you're working on, just taking photos or videos. And then also measurements. Sometimes this can be discouraging, but other times it shows you where you need to improve. So those can be really great. Just keeping a workout log can be really nice. Just maybe writing down how you felt, how much energy you had, what you were able to do that day, like the weight and the reps. That can be super encouraging to look back on. And then another thing that is really encouraging is a PR or personal record. And this is where you try to go as heavy as you can, or maybe it's how many reps you can do of something like push-ups or pull-ups or something like that. And you try as many as you can, or you try as hard as you can to get that one rep. And then maybe a few months later, try to see if you can go a little bit heavier or get that extra one rep in. So those can also be really encouraging. So this just helps put it into perspective, that maybe if you feel like you're not improving, this will show you that you are making progress. Okay guys, and then one last point that I did want to mention, especially if you are a teenager, is your body is still changing and growing. So don't feel pressured that you have to look a certain way or gain a ton of muscle as a teenager, because your body is still growing and everyone develops at a different pace. So comparing yourself with different people on social media or your friends can make you feel like you're falling behind or you're not doing good enough, when in actuality you are progressing. So instead of focusing on trying to get the biggest muscles or compete with somebody else, focus on taking care of your body. So eating nutritious meals, challenging yourself in your workout, getting enough sleep and having rest days, and then also staying consistent. Remember, these healthy habits that you start right now will benefit you well off into the future, regardless of how much muscle you have. And I absolutely love this point, to invest in yourself. So progress isn't always something that you can see, and almost always it's internally. So building consistency, building these healthy eating habits, and then also building the habit of staying in the gym. It takes 3 to 5 years to build a really strong habit that you don't even have to think about anymore. So remember to stay consistent, trust the process, you are progressing, and also let your results come naturally. Don't try to increase your chances of getting muscles artificially, because it's not just about appearance. It's about cultivating healthy habits. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like this video and please subscribe to my channel if you're interested in seeing healthy meal ideas or productivity tips for teens. I also share a little bit of some arts and crafts or just some things that I'm interested in. So if that is interesting to you, then definitely go check it out. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next video.